Welcome, ladies, to the Real Estate InvestHER Show, providing inspiration, strategies, and insight to empower women investors to live balanced and financially free lives. Now, here are your co-hosts, Liz and Andresa.
Welcome back, ladies. This is Liz.
And this is Andresa.
Welcome back to the Real Estate InvestHER Show, where our mission, our focus, our passion is to empower women to live a financially free and balanced life. Whatever that means.
Worldwide and whatever it means to all of them, right? I need to start speaking that in different languages.
Oh, I like that. What language are you going to speak it in?
I just know a couple, but it would be great, right? Like created like on your own terms, whatever that means to you in like so many different languages.
Ooh, I got some social media graphics popping in my head. That'd be kind of cool. We're going to be talking about your relationship to money and how it is literally everything. And it's foundational to be a successful real estate investor.
I love this because it's all about the mindset, right? The projects that you are currently in progress, your life, it all started with a thought. So that's where we're going now and connecting the dots. Why money it's in from the beginning into the end and how your relationship would affect actually how successful you are in real estate. That's what we are going to be focusing on today.
Hey, Andresa. So what I want to share are 3 key words. Okay. So we're going to keep, as we teach on our minisodes and we teach in our community, in our Strive membership, we really are trying to chunk things down and simplify, not overwhelm, because everything we do, right? So I'm going to talk about your money blueprint. I'm going to talk about your money personality. And I'm also going to talk about your beliefs. Okay. So those are kind of the 3 things I'm going to share today on today's minisode. So this is a big topic, right? Your relationship to money. And we hear a lot of women, we have the honor and privilege to talk to a lot of women. And money is literally the core of investing, right? You or someone has to have money to invest, right? We all know there's a lot of creative ways to finance deals, but money is a big part of our business. And it's a big part of life, but certainly real estate investing, buying the type of assets we're buying. So really, if you're going to do some work, and you need to do work, right, ongoingly on yourself, and as you refine your investing strategies, that relationship to money is critical. So blueprint, let's talk about blueprint. I always like to say blueprint because what did you learn? I know that this is done in a lot of different courses, but what did you learn as a kid about money? And so that really shapes us. Again, it's not what you heard. It might have been what you saw, right? And some people may have struggled with money. Some people, parents maybe didn't value money. There's a whole litany, right? It's a whole long workshop we'd go into. But the key is, what messaging did you get? Have you ever done that work where you really are clear on that blueprint piece? Did you hear money doesn't grow on trees? Money is the root of all evil. I don't know what you heard, Andresa, but I heard, if it's free, take 3. Meaning if there's things that are free, my parents always said to me, take 3 of them, not 1, but 3 of them. That was literally a joke, but a messaging that I got, right? So, and I'll get into what that served me and how it can sometimes limit me. But Andresa, what did you hear as a kid?
It's funny, right? Because looking back, when I look back, I did not know we were not rich. Not in the sense of luxury, but I can certainly affirm that every single thing that I wanted, I got it. Not in terms of, like, I'm talking about food. I'm talking about experiences in life. But my dad was an excellent employee, not an excellent business owner. And I saw that. I was in my teenager years when I saw him being an entrepreneur, quote unquote, and my mom managing the finances. No. That was a recipe to disaster. And he went back to being an employee. And then my mom started building her own business. Again, she was a great self-employed, not a business owner. So that became my perspective. But in terms of money, we never had this like, oh, we really are struggling here, or experience fights among them between my dad and my mom. So I was blessed from that sense. But looking back, I was like, wow, they hit very well. I didn't know. But now looking back, I can tell 3 kids. How the hell do they manage
Yeah.
to really do what they did?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and the whole free taking three is like the power of saving, right? Like,
Mm,
you're more savers than spenders. And my parents were savers. We lived in a very nice but small home. We had three of us, under the five of us under the roof. And so I remember growing up, we always had what we wanted and needed, but there wasn't, the sense of I was missing anything. I also
right.
never had memories of my parents fighting or
Did you
hearing.
and your sisters sleep in the same room, or
Yeah.
how was that?
Mhm. Yeah, me and my
Right.
sister for many years. So the whole
Yeah.
idea of like living below your means, respecting money, right? Those are all really powerful foundations, right? Is that going to get you to to where you want to be? In a foundational way, yes. And then where can that also limit you at times, right? Because if it's free, take three, then I'm not coming from an abundant perspective, right? But anyway, you want to know what you were told and what did you experience. And there's some great resources out there to do that. But I would say get clear on your money blueprint first. That then leads to your money personality, typically. And I'm a big fan of all types of personality, assessments. But I got this when Matt and my husband and I went to T. Harv Ekker's The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind
Oh,
intensive weekend, which
love it.
is which is one of the most powerful weekends right there with Landmark Forum, quite honestly, for us. And it was all around the same time as '08, '09, when
Mhm.
we were really struggling, relationship wise, financially, like pretty much holistically struggling. And it was such a powerful weekend for us. And you get a sense of what your money personality is. And typically, I don't know if there's more, but I remember savers and spenders just because I'm a saver and Matt's a spender. So I remembered that very specifically. And I remember like sitting there and crying with him. Both of us were crying. And it was
For different
so
reasons.
for different reasons. Well, probably for different reasons and for some of the same reasons. We were talking about, just some of the financial decisions we had made in the business to that point, and we were feeling really guilty, very badly. We didn't steal money or anything, but we just didn't make some the smartest investment decisions to date. And we really came together and said, around the saving and the spending, and and it really was the powerful breakthrough is then what are your beliefs, which is the third point I want to make is what beliefs do you have about money? And at that point, I really valued and so appreciated my blueprint of saving and living below my means and taking one for the team and not paying myself. And God, as investors, right? We got to do that, at the beginning. And then as you start to do, you do a little better and you start to make more money here, or you start to do some, you start to really create that wealth and wealth building strategies, you keep acting that way. And that's where I really want to encourage you that your beliefs long term will limit your growth. Meaning that if I keep saying, right, living below my means, not that I don't want to ever live above my means. I'm not a big fan of that. I don't think that's smart. But my husband and I got into the conversation is what do things cost versus the value they bring. And I had to really learn that.
And you emphasize that.
Cost versus value, meaning it costs me, right? $200 for my lawn to get cut, or $200 for the cleaners to come. Or I just had someone put my desk together and paint for me. And that was $500, because he was there all day. Took him a while to put the desk together.
What the hell? You should have hired my guy. He took
I
you
know.
2
You would have
hours.
should have your guy. But again, what you have now, I could do, I could have made that call a little differently, right? I said I should have paid him for the project. I had Andresa's head and voice in my head, pay for the project, not an hourly rate.
Yes.
But again, I was reminded of that this past weekend. However, I said, was that of value to me? Because then I went and I wrote a book that Matt and I are writing together, Investing with Your Spouse, book about that. So was that of value to me to have that time so that something was happening? My point in saying this is knowing your blueprint, knowing your personality, and then lastly, learning about what beliefs are serving you and not serving you will really get you clearer and more connected to your relationship to money. And for me, I love that I live below my means. I love that I'm a little bit of a saver, but there's points in my life that I have to say, let go of that. And what's the value in going away with my family and not worrying about, the cost? Again, not to put us in debt, because that's not smart, but where you have to spend to enjoy life, which my husband is amazing at because that's what he does. That's what he lives for. So that's what I got for this week.
And I want to make a quick book recommendation. It's called Die with Zero. So it's very challenging in some perspectives, but in others, you got to think about, okay, what are the experiences that I can do it now? Let's say for my 7-year-old son, I can take him to a Disney cruise at 7, right? He's not going to want to do that at 14, right? So, and I don't know if a 10-year-old will want to do that or so my point is that window that I have to have that experience, it is not his entire life. It is not other thing like climbing a mountain or ice skating or going fishing in Alaska, whatever that is. What is your window? So get that very clear. So then you're like investing your time and the value is there instead of looking at that as a cost. Thank you so much for listening. And if you have more questions about your money print or how you're dealing with money, like struggles and how can you change that, please comment on our Facebook group community. We are here to support you and guide you through it. Thanks so much for listening. Bye.
If you enjoyed this podcast and want to receive updates on our next interviews, go to our website, therealestateinvestor.com. There, you can subscribe to our show, become part of our investor community, and get updates on upcoming episodes.
If you like our show, please share it with other women who would benefit. And don't forget to leave us a rating on iTunes. We'd really appreciate it. And as always, we encourage you to take one action as a result of today's show and put it into motion so you can live both a financially free and balanced life. Thanks for spending time with us.
Ciao.